Hey everybody, I'm here today to answer a simple car question. The car question is, how often should you change your radiator coolant? Alright, so let's get right to the answer. I'm going to be giving you a simplified version of the answer, and I will also be explaining it a bit further to give you a more complex version of the answer with some additional details. The simplified version of the answer is as follows. You should change your radiator coolant every 50,000 miles. And that is just a very simple rule of thumb. You should make it a point to change your radiator coolant every 50,000 miles. Now let's get into the more complex version of the answer by giving you a few more details. So coolant is basically a 50-50 mix of antifreeze and water, okay? Now this specialized mix provides protection against boiling in hot weather and freezing in cold weather. Basically, it allows the mixture to flow through your engine without having to worry about it boiling or freezing, and it keeps your engine cool and does a whole bunch of awesome other things. Now, if you don't have a leak in your coolant system, you won't really lose much coolant, okay? You'll pretty much have the same amount of coolant, 10 years later as when you originally filled it up, okay? Now, the thing is, although you may not lose coolant, the quality of coolant deteriorates over time, okay? And when the quality of coolant deteriorates, it pretty much loses some of its great properties that it is known to have inside of the engine. One of the most common properties that it loses is its rust inhibiting properties. So that means that as the quality deteriorates, the coolant loses a good portion of its rust inhibiting properties. With that being said, when it loses its rust inhibiting properties, as it passes through your radiator, it can actually cause rust in your radiator. And if it causes rust in your radiator, that can cause a radiator leak that you have to fix, or that you actually will have to replace the whole radiator, which can be quite expensive. It can be pretty expensive. So the short answer is that you should change your coolant every 50,000 miles. The long answer is that although you won't lose coolant if you don't have a leak in your coolant system, the quality of the coolant within the system will deteriorate over time, and that can cause some harmful effects on the engine's components. Is that to say that if you never change your coolant, you're gonna have rust all over your radiator and stuff like that? No, that's not what I mean. I just mean that you will have a more likely chance of damaging your engine's components if you don't change your coolant every 50,000 miles. That's basically it. In this video, I just wanted to answer a very simple car question. Many people think that you have to replace your coolant very frequently. You have to change your coolant every 10,000 miles or something like that, which is very false. That is way too frequently. And other people think that you simply never have to change your coolant in your car if you don't have a leak. And that's also false. So as a rule of thumb, change your coolant in your radiator, in your car, in your engine's components every 50,000 miles. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.